Mireille was a young woman living on the dusty outskirts of the city. For her, life had never been a gentle stream. It was a daily struggle against a relentless current. That morning, however, a small flicker of hope lit up her world. She had just landed a job, a very small one, just 2 days of work as a cleaner in a private company. It wasn't much, but in her reality, it was a monumental victory. In many parts of Africa, you see, even the smallest opportunity isn't just a step up, it's the very thread of survival. What Mireille couldn't possibly know was that a simple act of kindness, performed under a torrential downpour, was about to rewrite her entire destiny. That day, the sky hung low and heavy, a bruised and angry gray. A fierce rain began to fall over the city, quickly flooding the streets and turning the red earth into a thick, sticky mud. The wind carried a biting chill, and people rushed past each other, faces down, without a second glance. Clutching her small, precious umbrella, Mireille walked as fast as she could. She could not afford to be late. Losing this job would mean returning to the gnawing emptiness of having nothing, of starting all over again from zero. As she hurried toward the big, bustling crossroads near the market, her eyes fell upon a solitary figure. An old woman stood alone, completely exposed to the relentless rain. She looked as though she had just arrived from a distant village, her clothes soaked through, her feet bare on the cold, wet ground. She had no bag, no umbrella, not even a shawl to shield herself. She was shaking visibly from the cold, a picture of helplessness, utterly lost in the chaos of the city. Mireille stopped. A pang of compassion tightened in her chest. She couldn't just walk by. In Africa, an elder isn't just another person on the street. An elder is a mother, a repository of wisdom, a sacred link to the ancestors. And you simply do not ignore a mother in distress. Without a second thought, Mireille rushed toward her, lifting her small umbrella to shield the old woman's head. "Mother," she said softly, her voice full of concern, "please, stand under my umbrella. You will fall sick in this rain." The old woman slowly raised her eyes. They were weary from a long journey, but they held a profound depth. "My daughter," she replied, her voice quiet but clear, "I came from the village. I don't know anyone in this big city. I have nowhere to go." Mireille felt a lump form in her throat. She reached into her pocket and pulled out the little money she possessed, 1,500 naira. It was all she had, meant for her bus fare and a small meal for the next 2 days. "Take this, mother," she urged. "It's all I have. Please find somewhere warm to rest." The old woman looked at the money, then back at Mireille's earnest face, and gently shook her head. "I cannot take what you need to survive, my child." Mireille paused, her mind racing. Then a warm smile spread across her face. "Then come with me," she said decisively. "I'm going to my new job. You can wait there in the dry until the rain stops." Tears welled up in the old woman's tired eyes. "May God and the ancestors bless you, my daughter," she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. So they walked together, two figures huddled under one small umbrella, a young woman and an elder, forging a silent bond against the storm. When they arrived at the sleek, modern office building, Mireille discreetly guided the old woman to a quiet corner near the reception area. She found a towel to help her dry off. "Don't worry, mother," she reassured her. "I'll come back to check on you during my break." But while Mireille was away, diligently cleaning on another floor, trouble arrived in high heels. Emily, the boss's fiancée, strode into the reception area as if she were a queen entering her palace. The sharp click-clack of her expensive shoes echoed on the polished floor. Everyone in the office knew her, and they knew her arrogant demeanor. She acted as if the company was already hers to command. Her gaze swept the room and landed on the old woman sitting quietly in the corner. Her face immediately twisted into a mask of disgust. "Who allowed this dirty village beggar inside?" she shouted, her voice shrill and cutting through the office hum. An uncomfortable silence fell over the room. The old woman, startled, slowly got to her feet. "My daughter," she began, her voice calm despite the insult. "Please don't be angry. I will leave now. Emily let out a mocking laugh. This is my future husband's company, not a charity for poor villagers. Get out. The old woman sighed, a deep, weary sound, but her dignity remained intact. You have a hard heart, my child, she said, her voice steady and clear. I wonder what kind of home you will build with a heart like that. Enraged by this quiet rebuke, Emily threatened to call security. Humiliated, with tears brimming in her eyes, the old woman turned and left the building quietly. When Mireille returned for her break and saw the old woman standing outside the gate, drenched and shivering once more, her heart shattered into a million pieces. A righteous anger rose within her. She marched back inside and confronted Emily without a trace of fear. You insulted a mother. Who do you think you are to treat an elder with such disrespect? Emily just laughed in her face. I've already told my fiancé not to hire people like you. You don't belong in a place like this. In that moment, Mireille made a choice. She chose dignity over fear, respect over a job. If defending an elder cost me my job, she said, her voice ringing with conviction, then I am proud to lose it. And with that, she turned and walked away. That same evening, Emily called her fiancé Cyril, the CEO of the company. She spun a web of lies, accusing Mireille of being insubordinate and bringing troublesome vagrants into the professional environment. Cyril, trusting his fiancée completely and without bothering to investigate the matter, fired Mireille over the phone. That night, Mireille had little, but she shared it all. She welcomed the old woman into her tiny one-room house. It was a humble dwelling, with walls made of mud, a simple mat on the floor for a bed, and a single cooking pot in the corner. It's small, Mireille said with an apologetic smile, but you are welcome here. It's home. The old woman looked around, but her gaze was fixed on Mireille, and she smiled warmly. In Africa, my daughter, wealth is not measured by the size of a house. It is measured by the size of the heart. And then, she revealed the stunning truth. I came to the city for a very important reason, she said, her eyes twinkling. I came to find a wife for my son. A woman with a good heart, a kind spirit, and deep respect. And my child, after seeing your soul today, I have made my choice. I choose you. Mireille was completely shocked, unable to process what she was hearing. The very next day, the entire picture came into focus. The old woman was not a poor villager at all. She was the mother of Cyril, the wealthy and powerful CEO who had just fired Mireille. Her visit to the city was a test, a traditional way to find a worthy partner for her son, someone who valued character over status. Emily's cruelty and lies were exposed, and her engagement to Cyril was immediately broken. Cyril, deeply ashamed of his haste and poor judgment, was consumed with regret. But the story wasn't over. To be absolutely certain of Mireille's heart, to know if her kindness was truly genuine, Cyril decided to meet her again. This time, he concealed his identity, pretending to be a simple man with a modest job and no money. And Mireille, seeing his humility, his respect, and his gentle nature, fell in love with him for who he was, not for what he had. She loved the man, not his wealth. Only later, after their bond was strong and their love was true, did he reveal his identity. She was hurt by the deception at first, but she understood his reasons. Her love had been tested and proven to be pure and unconditional. Months later, Mireille and Cyril were married in a beautiful African ceremony. It wasn't about extravagant displays of wealth. It was simple, joyful, and filled with the heartfelt blessings of family and ancestors. A celebration of a union founded on integrity and love. And it all began with a single selfless act of kindness under the pouring rain. This story carries a profound African lesson. How you treat your elders is a mirror that reflects your true nature. Money can put on a mask and hide a person's face, but hardship and adversity will always reveal the heart. And a good, compassionate heart can open doors that no amount of wealth or power ever could. Thank you for listening. Please follow our channel for more stories that touch the soul.